Hi folks, it's time for another exciting edition of the Rehab Documentation Guru. Alright, who am I kidding? Documentation is not the most exciting topic in the world, but it is very important. So today we're continuing our series on SOAP, cleaning up your daily documentation, and today's component is going to talk about the A of SOAP. Now, for those of us who are registered therapists, we usually think of the A being assessment, and that is true. So what does that assessment look like? And so let's talk about that as a component. Number one, we want to take the information that's above, the subjective and the objective information, and we're going to analyze it. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, we want to talk about why are they improving or why are they not improving? We want to acknowledge when our treatment doesn't seem to be having any impact upon the patient, and we also want to do a little bit deeper dive into why we're seeing what we're seeing. You know, with objective measurements, we take objective measurements on their functional deficits, which I am going to do a video on that, and the underlying impairments that cause them. And that's very important, but it doesn't complete the picture of the assessment. That information means something, and a lot of people can be trained to take that information down. For example, range of motion. I don't know about you, but I learned range of motion measurements my very first year of PT school, but I didn't know squat about assessment or analysis at that point. So somebody can be trained that's non-skilled to do some basic range of motion measurements, but they won't necessarily know how to take that information and run with it. And I'll give you a more concrete example on a patient. Suppose you see a patient and they come into your clinic and they say, I'm having trouble putting on something overhead. Every time I put something on overhead, I lose my balance. And so you assess the patient and they're sitting on the edge of the mat and you have them pull a sweater over their head. And as soon as they get it over their face, the patient loses their balance. Now, for a non-skilled person, that might not mean anything. But for you as a skilled entity with years of experience in your field, having gone through the schooling that you've had, you can take that information and say, aha, there's something going on here related to their balance. And me as a skilled professional, I know, for example, for balance, there's vestibular, visual, and somatosensory aspects of balance. And so by taking the sweater and pulling it over the head, I take away that visual component. Suddenly I'm relying more upon the vestibular and the somatosensory. Something is going on with one of those systems that I need to do a deeper dive into. And that's partly what your analysis needs to focus on. So we analyze the data, the objective and subjective data that we've taken from above. The next part, or the next possibility for the A in SOAP, is adjustments. So for you that are assistants out there watching this video, what can you document in an A? Well, you can talk about the adjustments you're going to make based on patient response. So for example, and this is something I forgot to cover in objective, realizing I'm going to have to go back and do that. What is the patient's response to the care that you gave them, and then what adjustments are you going to make? So for example, the patient had significantly reduced pain with a treatment intervention that you did today. And now they've got good range of motion with proper osteokinematics of movement. Well, I can now maybe make some adjustments, my next treatment, to how they do their exercises. So that's a possibility for you assistants, but also, of course, for therapists to document under the A portion any adjustments that you're going to make to the plan of care consistent with the long-term goals of the patient. You can't alter the long-term goals of the patient because that's a duty of plan of cares and updated plan of cares, and it's not what you can handle on a regular SOAP note. So that would be the focus of the A in your SOAP note. So I hope you've enjoyed this little update and it's been informational for you. Please feel free to post some comments below. And also, I ask you to subscribe to this channel and get in touch with me if you have any more follow-up that you'd like to see or future videos that you think would be helpful. My name again is John Adamson. I'm the Rehab Documentation Guru, And what I want you to do right now is go out and get paid for what you do. Bye now.